Could you turn that down, please? I'm in the meeting.
Hey, Mel, can you hear us? There you go. Sure.
We can't hear you if you're talking to us, Mel.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. Can you remain at the table
Yes.
so I can see you? All right, we're just trying to check on the status of the Secretary of State. Let's see if he's gonna join us or not.
Sure.
And for the record, the Lieutenant Governor is here.
Thank you.
I've been roaming Nevada.
Did Chris go down there?
You
Ma'am?
did. I can talk to you.
He's on the way out.
Okay. Everybody's on recess.
We had our floor session today for 30 minutes. We're done till Monday.
Really?
Yeah. You got committees and stuff going on, but there's no.
Do they have a regular? All right, Mel, we have the Secretary of State here, and now we can proceed. We'll proceed with the GOED board meeting scheduled for today, February 6, 2025, and the time being 2:03 p.m. And we'll kick it off with the roll call.
Thank you. Melanie Sheldon for the record. Governor Joan Lombardo,
Present.
Lieutenant Governor Severus Anthony,
Here.
Secretary of State Francisco Aguilar,
Here.
Dr. Weldon Havens.
Present.
Thank you. Miss Sasha Stevenson.
Present.
And Mr. Jay Barrett is on video. I can see you up there, Jay. Can you hear us and see us?
I can hear you, present.
Thank you, sir. Miss Yolanda King, present. Mr. Ray Specht. And Miss Deborah Jacob is also on video. Can you see and hear us, Deborah?
Present.
Oh, thank you. Governor, we have a quorum, and I'll just move on to the non-voting members. Ms. Patricia Charlton, here. Mr. Chris Dorff.
Present.
Thank you. Superintendent Ebert is unable to attend today, and Dr. Christopher Sanchez.
Present.
Thank you. I'm not leaving.
Yeah, stay there, Mel.
Sorry.
All right, we will close roll call, move on to agenda item number 2, first opportunity for public comment. Persons wishing to provide public comment remotely may access the meeting by telephone or through the Teams link posted on the agenda. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Public comment will be available at the beginning of the meeting and as the last item on the agenda of today's meeting. The telephone call-in number is 775-321-6111. And your conference ID number is 327-406-763 and the pound symbol. Do we have anybody there in Las Vegas wishing to make public comment?
Seeing, hearing none, Governor, and we haven't received any written public comment.
I'm sorry, Mel, I didn't hear the second half of your statement.
Oh, there is no one down here and we haven't received any, written public comment, and there's nobody on the line.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any public comment here in Carson City? Seeing none, we will close the first opportunity for public comment. Move to agenda item number 3 for possible action, approval of the November 16, 2024 board meeting minutes. Do we have any questions or concerns from any board members on the minutes? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion for approval.
Motion, Anthony, move for approval.
Second.
We
Second,
have a second for approval. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
against, nay?
I abstained, Jay Barrett. I wasn't present at the meeting.
Mel, did you get that for the record?
I did, thank you.
All right, I'll ask for the vote one more time. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any against? Nay? Hearing none, motion passes. We will close item number 3, move to agenda item number 4, executive director update and director's report from Director Tom Burns, informational only item.
Thank you, Governor and board members. Welcome today. I'd like to thank Tatiana and NDA for supplying the Valentine's candy. So thank you very much. Campus for Hope in the 2023 legislature was approved for $100 million of funding to match $100 million in private dollars for facilities for individuals and families at risk of or experiencing homelessness. In a planned initiative in Southern Nevada designed to address homelessness and envision the treatment services such as housing, healthcare, job training, and support of mental illness and addiction. The application was approved on January 17th and establishes Nevada's largest public-private partnership to help provide those who want help. WaterSmart, through the partnership of GOED and SRI, released the Building a Water-Wise Economy, a water-wise economic framework that allows water resource incentives with economic development. GOED has been consistent in its momentum in new project inquiries and in progress of existing projects. Current leads include a lithium-ion battery cell manufacturer, a medical device manufacturer, and a cell manufacturer facility for the solar industry. 2 companies have conducted site visits with our RDR partners since the last board meeting. Currently, we have 5 partners that have expressed interest in submitting abatement applications for the May GOED board meeting. In 2024, GOED Northern Regional Director Alex Bacchus worked with the Economic Development Authority of Western Nevada, EDON, to welcome Box Out to the state of Nevada. Box Out is a family-owned national distributor of spas, massage, beauty, fitness, rehabilitation, chiropractic, and wellness products. CES took place in January. Our team met with 6 foreign companies, including 12 potential countries and 12 potential companies. These face-to-face meetings were an opportunity to share progress in key sectors, strengthen international relationship, and explore collaborations. GOED's SSBCI technical assistance will be adding another component to its existing program with the approval of funding for the Small Business Opportunity Program by the Nevada Legislature's IFC program in December. In September, the U.S. Treasury selected Nevada as one of only 12 states to receive a $4.2 million 3-year grant. Carson Heights, Senior Director of Strategic Programs and Innovation, wrote the application. GOED again will partner with the Nevada Small Business Development Corporation. Additional assistance will be provided to healthcare businesses and small manufacturers. The SBCDC will also provide small business training and advising services for 3 of Nevada's native nations. GOED is going to be waiting to receive the grants and contract from the U.S. Department of Treasury. GOED's Carson Heights will serve as the co-principal investigator for UNR's NSF Indians applications, Recharge Nevada, a coalition of energy innovation to be submitted by February 11th. This project will be supported by the Knowledge Fund, which is going to receive a boost with the inclusion of a substantial budget enhancement in the 26-27 executive budget. In the individual career mapping program, which connects underserved populations with Nevada's in-demand industries, is expanding its partnerships. Together with the City of North Las Vegas Library, ICM will partner with Cristo Rey, St. Viator Catholic High School, as well as Help of Southern Nevada and Chef Jeff. In rural and northern Nevada, cohorts will launch in early 2025 with partners Reno VA Hospital, Elko County School District, Elko County School District's Jackpot High School, and the Domestic Violence Resource Center in Reno. On January 10th, the Nevada Apex Accelerator hosted a meeting with Pentagon officials in Las Vegas. The Pentagon, which helps partially fund Apex program nationwide, they discussed the nation's need for even more innovative companies to sell goods and services to local, state, and federal government agencies. The meeting also covered division data, such as subset of Nevada APEC clients pursued and won over $48 million worth of government contracts for the period July 16th through October 13th reporting period. And that was extended, as a note, that was attended statewide or had partners from statewide. Earlier this year, in January, the CES provided lots of opportunities for GOED's workforce director to engage with the forefront leaders and trends representing this space. As an outreach and partnership professional, Elaine Silverstone networked to meet with Dr. Elise Riddle, who holds a significant leadership roles in workforce, including Dean of George Washington University College of Professional Studies, and as a champion of Capital Workforce Innovation Consortium. Ms. Silverstone welcomed Dr. Riddle to GOED to meet our team and our partners in Southern Nevada Greater Workforce Ecosystem. Rich conversation ensued, and we invited Dr. Riddle to be on a panel at CES, Reinventing Workforce Development in an Era of AI. The current cycle of WINN-funded programs, are, that was poorly written, I apologize. Under the current cycle of WINN-funded programs, there are 17 to date in this biennium period and are thriving with the WINN investment. Many celebrations and milestones have been accomplished to date. One such celebration included a recent ribbon cutting at the College of Southern Nevada's Nursing School Lab expansion. GOED's Director of Workforce Development was invited to join a list of speakers to mark the event, along with CSN's acting president, Dr. Kibler, Clarissa Coda, Vice President of External Relations and Campus Operations, Elizabeth Solomon, Director of Nursing, were among those on the panel. The Nursing Skills Lab will bring the great capacity to the pipeline of skilled and licensed CNAs and LPNs to serve healthcare sections in the Southern Nevada region. GOED healthcare specialist Vance Farrow has been working with the principals of Infusion Health, an infusion therapy provider that provides patients with autoimmune disorders and other chronic complex health conditions. Infusion for Health has opened its 4th clinic and expanded into their Southern Nevada footprint and will soon announce a new clinic in Northern Nevada. An official grand opening will be scheduled sometime this spring. Mr. Farrow also reached out to NSHE and the Nevada Action Coalition to pursue a grant opportunity with Human Resources and Services Administration. The $22.2 million Nursing Workforce Diversity Program is a 4-year grant to increase nursing education opportunities for individuals who have come from disadvantaged backgrounds, including racial, ethnic minorities, underrepresented among registered nurses. GOED is pleased to announce that the VEWDC with lease space will open minority-owned primary and specialty clinic with compounding and specialty pharmacy services aimed to serving our diverse community with comprehensive healthcare services. This will be the second owned minority sterile and non-sterile compounding pharmacy in the state. Additional expansion plans include an 18-unit mixed income senior and healthcare workforce housing development. The Nevada Film Office continues to develop its community enrichment initiatives by hosting another informative panel as part of the Film Nevada Workshop Series. Held in partnership with the Clark County School District, this panel will focus on navigating independent filmmaking, including producing, directing, and distribution. Film Office Director Kim Spurgeon and Deputy Director Danette Toll have both accepted roles as board members for the newly formed ACE Chamber. The Chamber's mission is to support and elevate the arts, creative, and entertainment sector in Nevada through advocacy, networking opportunities, and resource sharing. Danette will serve as the board's co-vice president. The Office of Entrepreneurship has been instrumental in supporting the Desert Research Institute as the Nevada partner to the NSF Engines applications on future food, sovereignty, and sustainability, led by the University of California Agriculture and Natural Resources, bringing together tribal leadership, business sustainability, pitch competitions, and financial institutions to a robust proposal submission due February 11th, 2025. San Francisco's January session on coalition building for entrepreneurs was co-hosted by the Office of Entrepreneurship at the 2025 online community UN conference. Director Kaima Pert has been invited to co-chair Right to Start's Nation's National Entrepreneurship Leadership Network to provide a unified collaborative platform for sharing Nevada's best practices and aligning national efforts, launching in February. Also in February, the Office of Entrepreneurship will host an inaugural ecosystem panel at the U.S. Association for Small Business and Entrepreneurship Conference, bringing together data scientists, entrepreneurship investors, city and regional planners, community operators to view Nevada's entrepreneurship leadership. Supporting GOED's initiative, Main Street Initiative, in March, the Office of Entrepreneurship will lead a self-paced entrepreneurial planning training platform with Mesquite businesses and entrepreneurs and a national education partners. The platform is designed to increase throughout our business plan in development, licensing and funding by ensuring basic and advanced concepts and tools in place to access local leadership or resources. GOED's Director of Rural Economic and Community Development, Sherry Davis, conducted a Southern Nevada tour through 8 different communities, including Pioche, Caliente, Montlo Valley, Mesquite, Pahrump, Jackson Street in Las Vegas, Boulder City, and Henderson. The type of visit depended on the needs of the community and included training presentations, community outreach, and site visits. GOED's Jessica Sanders and Sarah Clark attended the grand opening of the Silver Sage Center in Wells, Nevada, which received a $1 million in funding from CBDG. CBDG staff are administering over 20 grants at this point in time. CBD staff is working on the 5-year consolidated plan and impediments to fair housing. The plan helps to set the priorities of community development block grants, house investment partnerships program, energy solutions grant program, housing opportunities for people with AIDS, and national housing trust funds for the next 5 years. Governor, that concludes my report.
Okay, do we have any questions to any board members of Director Burns?
Governor, I have a couple of comments.
Go ahead, Cisco.
First of all, thank you for mentioning Cristo Rey High School. I think it's one of the best workforce development programs in the state of Nevada. So
We share that.
thank you. Appreciate that. Second is, I know you have a bill before the legislature. Is that bill discussion ever going to come to this board to, one, make us aware of what's in the bill, help your agency and the organization?
Yeah, the preponderance of the bill has not been written yet. It's in the governor's omnibus part of his bill structure, and I believe it's due to come out in March.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Lieutenant Governor.
Thank you, Governor. What is the ACE chamber? What does that stand for?
It's not knowing what the acronym, it's an arts chamber for Southern Nevada. So to promote the arts in Southern Nevada as a whole.
Does anybody know what ACE stands for in here?
It's arts, culture, and entertainment.
Thank you.
Arts and culture.
It is. It was started out at Henderson.
It was what?
Started in conjunction with the city of Henderson.
Oh, okay. All right, good.
Gee, someone just texted me.
So, Director Burns, for the record, Governor Lombardo.
Yes, sir.
Under innovation-based economic development, you mentioned in September, the U.S. Treasury selected Nevada as one of the only 12 states to receive a 4.2 million.
Yes.
Why?
Why we were selected, or
Yeah, why were we selected?
I will tell you that Carson does an amazing job of putting forth the best interests of Nevada. He has done an exceptional. Historically, Nevada has not gotten their fair share of the federal government, and I would say that in the last 2 years, he has made sure that's happened. So this particular grant allows for for small businesses to receive advisory services such as accounting and legal services as they start up their business.
Oh, that's good. And then under community block grant,
Yes.
development block grant. Hey, Yolanda, I don't know if you're best situated to answer this or Tom, give you the opportunity. Is this the same funding mechanism under the block grant where we have the board there at Clark County to address block grant funding? Is it the same entity or separate?
Remember, King, I'll defer to you.
This is Yolanda. I believe it is the same funding block grant that we talked about probably about a year ago.
So when these, when Jessica Sanders come before the board, for request of funds for wells, so even in the rural environment, it comes through the Clark County, is that correct?
Generally, it goes through the county entity, but then you have some cities that are also allocated funding through the county. So I think it just depends on how their allocation is set up from the, from HUD or the federal government.
Yeah, if I may, Governor Tom Burns, for the record, my understanding is that larger population centers such as Washoe County and Clark County receive funds directly. And when counties are smaller, those funds are distributed through the state and we distribute them on their behalf to the rural areas.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions?
Yes, going back to,
Just go.
yeah, Cisco for the record, going back to the legislation, I just got sent AB 77. So is this different from what you're submitting with the governor's office or?
There are many parts of that bill that are concurrent with the governor's bill.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Is your concern there's a redundancy?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out what our legislative agenda is, given
Okay.
we have an organization. And if this board's going to have an opportunity to have discussion about how we can be helpful in that process before it gets to the legislature, that's all I'm asking. Thank you.
I can discuss that broadly if you'd like.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So, Tom Burns for the record. We worked in conjunction with a number of stakeholders throughout the state of Nevada, including our RDA partners and municipalities, to come up with a plan in which we are being very intentional about where we're asking for expanded opportunities for economic incentives, but they're very intentional and focused into the industries we're doing. So we'll be doing innovation, clean energy. Also, there's some opportunity in healthcare. So just kind of as a broad overview, right now, as you well know, all of our abatements require that 51% of the money be generated from another state that we do an export, right? And that was a wise decision at the point in time. If you go back to when it was done, we were in the middle of a recession. We needed other states to pay for our jobs because we couldn't pay for them ourselves. But what that leads us to is we cannot fill the supply chain. So there's a company that does business with Tesla. 60% of their sales are with Tesla. We cannot incentivize them to come. They would like to move across the street from Tesla. We can't incentivize them to come to the state of Nevada because 60% of their sales would then be in state. So what we're effectively telling them is we'd like them to keep their 125 really good paid jobs back in the Midwest. So that's an opportunity where we can fill the supply chain. It also allows us to incentivize appropriate medical care. So we're looking to incentivize in Northern Nevada and Washoe and Clark County. We would be incentivizing what I would term to be specialty care, because acute care, the model is taking care of itself. We've had a lot of hospitals built in both ends of the state, and people in that space would tell you there might even be too many beds at that point in time. But where we struggle on both ends of the state is maybe in cardiology and not that we don't have some doctors there, we don't have enough. And so the ability to track specialty practices like the Ruben Clinic, for instance, would be a place where we do that. And just in general, to attract medical care throughout the rural parts of our state of Nevada. Other parts, just very quickly, because we could go on all day, obviously, but other things that we'd be looking to do is give additional tax relief to companies that pay over 100% of the state average wage, that pay 100% of healthcare. that are participants in affordable or workforce housing projects that build and infill pieces within urban areas and in hub zones that hire more than 60% Nevadans, that hire Nevadans that are trained in recognized training programs, such as can be an apprenticeship program through organized labor or through an NC program. So those are some of the broader things. We'll also be advocating for in this case, transferable tax credits as it relates to subsidizing or participating in childcare.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's helpful.
What was the last word? Shelter?
Childcare.
Oh, childcare.
Yeah.
All right. If there are no further
Go-
questions, go ahead.
Governor, this is Sasha Stevenson. I was going to mention during board comment section of the agenda, but since Secretary Aguilar brought it up, I think part of, if I'm reading it right, part of this board's statutory authority is to review and make recommendations and comments to the director on such legislation or requests for changes. So I would request moving forward that we get regular briefings on those efforts and have an opportunity to understand them and to weigh in.
Certainly noted. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sasha. All right, we'll move on to agenda item number 5, the metrics report. Mr. Steve Scheetz, the research manager. Steve?
Sorry,
Who's
good
presenting?
afternoon, Governor Lombardo.
Are you Alex?
Yep.
Okay, sorry.
Good afternoon, Governor Lombardo,
Tell him.
Lieutenant Governor Anthony, and Secretary of State Aguilar. My name is Alex Backus. I'm the Northern Regional Director up here in the north. And I will be filling in for Steve Scheetz, our Research Director, to do the metrics today. Let's see if you all can see that. So the first 5 boxes here are going to be all of 2023 versus 2024. These are the 2024 numbers. The number of assisted companies in 2024 were 61. That's a 42% increase from 2023. The initial jobs from assisted companies is 2207. That's down 30.5% from 2023. That decrease has to do with Tesla and their semi-truck factory, and that was had 680 jobs, initial jobs within the first 2 years. And then if you go to the next box for the build out jobs, Tesla had a build out of 3,000 jobs. So that shows that it's down 58%. So if you take Tesla out of those equations, they are very similar, actually a little bit up from 2023. The average wage is down 4.5%, 34.08 per hour. That is still about $1.50 above the 32.51 average statewide wage. The assisted company investment total, this here is 32% down this year at $2.9 billion. Over Tesla in 2023 was a $3.6 billion investment. In 2023, without Tesla, it was $728 million worth of investment. So if you take Tesla out of it, we have almost a 300% increase in investment, capital investment within the state in 2024. Much of this investment this year was due to data centers, specifically Apple, Powerhouse, and Vantage data centers. Number of leads is down a little bit from Q3. So this is Q4 leads in 2024, down about 12% and up 36% from Q4 in 2023 at 64. Prospects had no change over the prior quarter, Q3, and are up 43% in Q4 of 2023. So there's a lot of activity coming in. We've seen more activity in the recent couple months than we have in a while. So number of assisted wins of about 20% from Q3 in 2024 And we have doubled our assisted wins in Q4 2024 as opposed to Q4 2023. The Emerging Small Business Program, which helps state and local governments, helps small businesses secure state and local government contracts, have 122 new contracts and 9.6 million new investment between January and June. Those reports have not been updated. They're only reported twice a year. The CDBG program has 6 new grants and 2.9 million in total available funding for allocation. They currently have 22 open grants, some still open from 2020, with $6.4 million of funds awaiting to be allocated. Our Apex Accelerator, which is administered by the Department of Defense and helps companies secure federal, local, and state contracts. That is, they have secured 318 new contracts for Nevada companies. The prior quarter, Q3, it's down a little bit, 25%. The new investment that the award that they won is $48.6 million. That roughly comes to about $150,000 to $250,000 per company. The Nevada Film Office is up 34% since Q3. So they have 91 total productions and about the same 255 clients assisted with very little change. On the next page here, I think probably, so this is all going to be data for the 18 companies that were won in Q4, incentivized and non-incentivized. So these are the assisted companies. You can see over time kind of the trends. You're going to see the trend here in Q4, especially in the capital investment. There's significant capital investment. One was approved by this board in November with Vantage Data Center, $250 million investment. We have also a non-assisted data center for $250 million and a very large one that hasn't been announced yet. So. This page, I think one thing to take away is going to be the abated companies by class size, size class. If you look at 2024, you do see that as a percentage of total wins, a majority of our wins are smaller companies, less than 50 employees. On this slide, bottom right corner, the fiscal return on investment for 2024 stood at $4.18 of net new taxes for every abated dollar. So for every dollar amount that we abate, we get $4.18 back. This will go over the Apex Accelerator. These graphs here do not show the complete, these contracts are open to all companies, but these are just some highlights of small disadvantaged businesses, historically underutilized business zones, hub zones, and service disabled veteran-owned business and women-owned businesses. The Emerging Small Business Program, these numbers will not have changed as they don't have to report until the end of March. The Nevada Film Office, there's some details here. Significant projects. There are 3 featured films in Q4 of last year, or Q2 fiscal year 2025. And the CDBG, I went over with the 22 open grants, 6 new ones secured at $2.8 million. There's Nevada jobs and unemployment. We'll go over employment pretty quickly, but it remains at 5.7%. There's still rising labor force participation, and it suggests that more Nevadans are returning to the workforce. Nevada continues to see steady job growth, particularly in Southern Nevada. And then the next slides are within our target sectors, showing the the wages versus the total jobs statewide. So in 50,000 advanced manufacturing jobs at $111,000 a year. One thing to note here is that the hospitality industry has regained all of the hospitality, tourism, sports, and creative industry jobs from the losses of the pandemic. So it has come back into that smoothed out trend there. And with that, I'm open to questions.
All right, do any board have any questions, for Mr. Bacchus?
Governor, if I may ask a question,
Go ahead, sir.
race back for the record. If we can go back to the first page, please. Up at top left, I was very encouraged when I saw year from year, we went up nearly 42%. And when I looked at the three graphs to the right and the one underneath, I nearly choked on my coffee. Looking at that, I assumed it was Tesla. I'm glad, Steve, that you clarified that. Very much appreciated. What I would wonder, since this is a public document and someone looking at this and looking at our state would not readily see that, should we footnote Tesla anytime we have a significant event distorting the numbers?
Alex Backus for the record. We can certainly do that. And I think we're looking to sort of revamp how we present these. One thing that we have looked at is doing metrics with some of the large outlying companies removed, so we can see trends for the mid-sized and lower companies and investments that way. Might help tell that story, because I agree it does look a little jarring when looking at it without context.
So again, race back for the record. So would we be able to add a footnote on this page? Just so if someone's looking at this public record, they understand that we actually had a pretty good year to year?
Yes, we can do that.
Thank
We
you,
will look
Steve.
into that. Yep.
So I would ask the DAG, are we able to post that on a change on the report we made during the meeting to the public?
Yeah, that should be sufficient. And for the record, David Newton.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Governor, I have a question. This is Joan for the record.
Go ahead, Ms. King.
On page 3, the total abatement approved by year. But there's a bar that's stated non-standard abatements. I guess does that include, or yeah, does it include, I guess, special legislation that was approved for abatements? I'm just curious to know what special abatements, or excuse me, non-standard abatements. What's the definition of this non-standard?
Alex Backus for the record. Thank you for the question. Non-standard abatements, we have our standard abatement packages, which apply to almost 80%, I'd say, of our abatements that are approved here and submitted. We have specialty abatements to go after target sectors that we are interested in: aerospace, information technology and data centers. And then we have the large abatements that are considered, like the Teslas is a $1 billion capital investment abatement. Excuse me, the 3.5 billion, and we have a 1 billion. So the parameters for qualifying for those abatements are a little bit different, but a majority of the companies, like the mid-sized manufacturers and other companies, would fall under standard abatements.
Okay,
That
thanks.
Yeah.
All right, any further questions?
I have a comment.
Go ahead, Chris.
Chris Sanchez for the record. One thing that occurs to me is in this conversation is that one was brought up to remove Tesla, but the other is that if we're slightly up or flat from the year before, it might be interesting to correlate that with where our competition is at in their numbers. So if Arizona's up 10%, Texas is up 20%, we're flat, then we can see, where we may have an opportunity to think about what we're doing. Just wanted to put that out there.
Any comments from the board on Mr.
Joan,
Sanchez?
Yeah, this is Sasha Stevenson for the record. I think that's a fantastic idea.
The question I would have, Governor Lombardo, for the record, who's our competition?
Alex Backus for the record. So a lot of our competition comes obviously from the Southwest and the South right now.
I guess
but
my statement
Arizona-
is, I understand who our competition is. My statement is, well, that needs to be identified in the report
Sure,
so people understand it.
sure. Yeah, we can provide that.
All right, if there are no further questions on agenda item number 5, we'll move on to agenda item number 6, the unemployment rate. Also, Mr. Backus will present.
Thank you, Governor. Alex Backus for the record. The unemployment rate remains almost exactly the same from November to December. It remains statewide at 5.7%. It's noted that there is a margin of error for these numbers at about 0.8%. David Schmidt with Dieter, our economist with Dieter, has no concern as of yet. Lion, Mineral, and Nye remain high, but that is consistent. They are consistently up there. 9 is pushing the limit of the 7% threshold, in which it would trigger a reduction in requirements to offer abatements for companies seeking to move there. But in general, we still have job growth, and the unemployment remains high because of an increase in participation rate. Some of it might be due to an influx of entrants into the state. So as of right now, it doesn't sound like the economists in the state are overly concerned with that unemployment rate.
Do you have any questions on the unemployment matrix? Chris, any comments? You don't have to say anything just because I called on you, but
No, sir.
Okay.
It's a glass.
especially if it's not profound. All right. All right, we'll close agenda item number 6, move for possible action on agenda item number 7, abatement application for board approval. And we'll kick it off with 7A, CADC Reno 265 LLC, data center sales tax abatement, data center personal property tax abatement.
Governor, I have a question before we actually go into that.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
I'd like to get some clarity.
Identify yourself, Cisco.
What's that? Oh, Cisco, Secretary of State. I'd like to get some clarity on my responsibilities and obligations on the approval of these applications. Is this a mandatory approval requirement? Or if there are concerns about the application or the impact of the application, what are the metrics I'm allowed to make a decision on this application? And I don't know if that's a question for Director Burns or for our dad, who is present.
Defer to Tom Burns for the record. I defer to the DAC, Governor. David?
Yeah, I was getting the mic open.
Yeah, fair enough.
So what's the question? I apologize.
So the question is, if I have concerns about an application, but they are stated to have met 2 of the 3 metrics, am I allowed to vote against the application, or am I allowed to express concern about the application? What are my parameters and what is my exposure or potential liability? I'm hearing conflicting things and I just want to get clarity on what my role is within this board.
Well, it would be my understanding that you could certainly vote and you could certainly accept an application or turn it down depending on your view of the materials contained therein and the materials provided by staff.
So I'm not subject, if they met 2 of the 3 statutory requirements, I can still have a perspective and vote in the negative of the application.
You could, yes.
Okay, thank you.
And let me, just before we close that, over the last couple of days, there's been some discussion about some advice that I may have given 2 years ago that is contrary to that. So I would like the opportunity to go back and take a fresh dive in this, so I make sure I didn't miss anything in what I was working on yesterday.
This is Sasha Stevenson for the record. Do you need a formal request from us to do that?
Yeah, it would be easier if I got a letter that outlined what you're exactly looking for. I'm also I'm assuming, but I might be wrong, that you're not asking for a formal AGO Attorney General's opinion. You're simply asking for my opinion of the information contained in your statutes as applied to this situation.
Well, I'm trying to keep myself out of trouble. This is Cisco, by the way.
Well, that's a long-term thing, sir. I'm not willing to commit to that much time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, just, Governor Lombardo, for the record, just as, I guess, a statement from the chair, I would not be requesting an AGO on this, less formalized direction and evaluation of the law would be more appropriate. So I'll have Director Burns author a letter and request and seek clarification from you, Cisco, to ensure it's addressing what the question is.
Okay.
And then we'll move from there.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, can the response to the letter be done outside of the formalized board? So we are informed before going into the next board meeting? Is that appropriate?
Yes, I can circulate what I find well ahead of the next meeting.
Okay. And just to provide a little bit of color to the secretary's question is, as we go through these abatements, and I expressed the same concern that I had with, that Cisco has, I assume, in the close proximity of the statutory required amounts. And I guess I would use the word suspicious, the suspicious closeness, or, you know, when you're using statutory wage requirements and the companies are meeting the wages by a penny, that's concerning. And then, you know, or statutory employment numbers and they're meeting the statutory requirement by one. I understand that threshold was there, put there for a reason, but could there be more done to address that particular issue? Is that correct, Cisco?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. With that being said, if there's no further statements prior to the presentation, we will move forward. And I don't know who's doing this presentation. Will that be?
Ms. Berry.
Who is it?
Amanda Berry.
Amanda Berry? Amanda? Oh, there you are. Sorry. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Secretary of State, Director Burns, and board members. For the record, I'm Amanda Berry, Director of Business Development for EDON. I'm presenting a data center abatement application for Centra Digital Interconnect. Centra is an interconnection data center company deeply committed to Northern Nevada's digital future. With an existing facility located in downtown Reno, Centra is already helping local enterprises like small and medium-sized businesses, educational institutions, and telecommunication companies access their data locally and deliver better internet to our residents. They will be expanding their presence in Reno with a purpose-built data center just west of downtown on a property that has been vacant and undeveloped for over a decade. They've really done their due diligence as far as selecting this parcel, making sure that they are upscaling the neighborhood. They've done a great round of City of Reno planning, receiving a conditional use permit for their operations. They've discussed their plans with the surrounding businesses as far as community engagement goes. They will only enhance security around this property as well. They're committed to using the most sustainable building materials, for prioritizing local construction firms, as well as implementing energy efficient efforts to lower their carbon footprint. They've also successfully obtained a service agreement from NV Energy for their power usage. With EDON's full support, they are requesting a sales and use tax abatement and a personal property tax abatement. They qualify for 3 out of the 3 abatement criteria. Centra plans to invest over $58 million and hire 11 highly skilled employees within the first 2 years at an average wage of $35.72 per hour. A special thanks to Alex Backus and Melanie Sheldon for their assistance in this abatement application. With me in person today are Mr. Chris Wiesler, Chief Executive Officer, and Mr. Ben Polsky, Director of Planning and Partnerships, along with a few other members of their team joining us virtually to say a few words and to answer any questions that you may have. Chris?
Great.
Is it Wiesler?
Wiesler.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Governor Lombardo, Lieutenant Governor, Secretary of State, Director Burns, and board members for having us this afternoon. For the record, I'm Chris Wiesler, the CEO of Centra Digital Interconnect. Centra's mission is to accelerate digital services
through our purpose-built interconnection platform. And we're excited to expand our business within Reno with a new modern purpose-built facility that will future-proof the quality of the internet for both large and small digital stakeholders in Reno. Our role as a neutral, modern interconnection hub, our role is as a modern, neutral interconnection hub, essentially a relatively small data center that is physically built in places where we see digital infrastructure growth and an opportunity to facilitate the exchange of internet data traffic among cloud, content, and network carrier providers. All of these players have interest in cross-connecting, or rather exchanging traffic, to better deliver services to the individuals and businesses they serve. So by definition, our facilities are neutral. We support many partners. They tend to be smaller scale than large data centers or hyperscale data centers from a space and power standpoint. They also are ideally located at the crossroads of connectivity in a market, as well as with good access to that hyperscale growth, which makes a downtown location ideal for an interconnection data center. There's a lot, as you know, of fiber, metro fiber and long haul fiber running through downtown Reno, as well as other connected buildings such as 200 South Virginia, where we currently operate a small facility. In addition to our interconnection services, our facility will support local businesses that prefer to have their computing needs managed out of a modern, neutral, secure location in the heart of Reno. As the demand for seamless data exchange and low latency connectivity grows, Centra is committed to providing secure, high-performance interconnection solutions that serve Reno's businesses, educational institutions, and residents. We believe our project will have a positive impact on the community in several different ways. The first is with jobs. When our facility is operational, we expect to have somewhere between 11 and 15 full-time jobs at the facility. In addition, during the construction phase, we expect to employ well over 100 people constructing the facility and more over time as we can hopefully expand. We're also redeveloping what's been, in my understanding, a challenging site and in a challenging neighborhood with a modern facility that's got high security, 24/7 security. And so we do think that we will have an impact in improving the neighborhood. Another benefit that we think will bring is the property tax revenue. And then perhaps, the most impactful benefit over time is the better internet connectivity for both individuals and businesses, which will serve as a magnet for more businesses that are dependent on good internet connectivity. Since 2021, Centra has been operating a small interconnection data center at 200 South Virginia, supporting local enterprises, educational institutions, and telecommunication providers. Our expansion at 265 Keystone Ave will further support Reno's growing digital needs with this state-of-the-art purpose-built data center in downtown Reno. We're very excited that we were recently granted a conditional use permit from Reno's Planning Commission without appeal. I'll end by just mentioning a couple of key sustainability elements related to our facility. Sustainability is an important value for Centra. We are partnering with NV Energy by participating in their NVE Green Rider program. We'll be eligible to apply for that this October, which will enable us to source up to 60% of our power from renewable energy sources. We're also limiting our water usage by employing air cooling techniques, which is something that not all data centers are able to do. But given our focus and our size, what it means is that our water use is essentially limited to bathrooms and sinks. We'll also be using environmentally friendly building materials and prioritizing local construction firms in our bid for a general contractor.
We're also implementing other sustainable sources of energy, including the installation of EV chargers and solar panels on a rooftop for day one. Thanks again for reviewing our project, and we're happy to field any questions you might have. By the way, in addition to Ben and I, we also have a number of members of our team who've called in remotely.
All right, do we have any questions of Mr. Wessler? Yes.
Yes, Governor. Cisco for the record. Can you explain to me where your business license is pending?
Yeah, sir. We have a scheduled visit to our data center at 200 South Virginia tomorrow.
Okay, so that's not your state business license, that's your local county or city license? Okay. I was just wondering because business licenses are given instantaneously and I was wondering why it was pending. Thank you.
Tomorrow. Sorry, Ben Polsky for the record.
All right. Any other questions?
Question.
Mr. Speck?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Governor. Ray Speck for the record. Just had 2 questions. Can you talk a little bit about the connectivity with UNR and TMCC and how it's going to benefit them? Was the first question.
I'm sorry, could the connectivity with, and then I missed it.
Sir, UNR
Our
and
University of
TMCC.
and Truckee Meadows Community
Right.
College.
Right.
So
Do you want to address that?
yeah, sorry, Ben Polsky for the record. This is a program that we're exploring with partnerships with local educational institutions for both job training and for site visits that we're offering as part of our sort of community development program as a data center downtown in Reno.
Elaine, for the governor, for the record, Governor Lombardo, Elaine Silverstone, are you aware of that?
Elaine Silverstone, for the record, I'm sorry to ask you to please repeat.
No, the partnership that the CADC is doing with UNR and Truckee Meadows in the workforce development.
Thank you. I'm going to give it a quick glance, please. This is at UNR.
She's our WINN fund workforce coordinator.
Connectivity.
So Governor, for the record, this is Patty Charlton, Chancellor, Nevada System of Higher Education. We are always very excited to have an opportunity to have business and industry reach out to the higher education institutions. And we also have Natalie Brown, Assistant Vice Chancellor for Workforce. So we are happy. And in fact, we will be connecting with all of these firms as soon as this is done today, pending approval.
Thank you.
And Elaine Silverstone, for the record, to add that there is WINN-funded projects at TMCC in data science expansion, but I can't speak any more specifically the extent it connects to this purpose.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Mr. Wessler, your RDA, Amanda Berry, she can help facilitate that was connected. So. All right.
The other question, I'm sorry, Governor, respect for the record. One other question. They can clarify for me in the first line. I'm not sure if I understand what co-located data center means. What is that? Is there multiple owners involved in this, or can you just clarify that term for me, please?
Absolutely. So Chris Wiesler for the record. So a co-location data center is one that many parties can participate in. So it's set up in a way where multiple companies can come in. They can have their servers running in that data center, the connectivity in and out of the data center, as opposed to a single tenant data center that might be a development, for example, that is developed for, let's say, entirely one hyperscaler.
So just for clarification, just so I saw co-located, the tax abatements that we would be asked to approve today would strictly be for the benefit of CADC. Would it be benefiting any other organization in a co-located data center?
That's correct.
I believe that's true.
Yeah, Tom Burns for the record. Yes, Mr. Speck, that's correct.
Right. Thank you very much for the clarification.
Governor, this is Sasha Stevenson. If I may ask our DAG just a clarifying question, and I apologize, I didn't get this question in before we had our presentation. I want to make very clear this doesn't have anything to do with either of the companies that's on this agenda item. But now that we've asked for clarification with respect to our statutory authority to approve, not approve, should we be waiting to take any further action until we have that clarity from you?
David Newton for the record. I'm not trying to pass the buck, but that's actually more a decision for you as a board to make, how you want to handle anything that's in the interim between now and when you obtain that opinion.
So I'll make an, Sasha, I'll make an executive decision as the chair. No, my desire is to go forward with the vote.
Okay,
And seek clarification for future votes.
thank you.
All right, if there are no further questions, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Governor, I did have one.
Go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry, Chris.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
Chris Sanchez for the record. On the wireless cooling design, two-part, I guess. Is it proprietary and is it scalable?
Ben Polsky, for the record, no, it's not proprietary and more difficult to scale with large data centers, but entirely doable with smaller data centers such as ours.
Thank you.
Sure.
For this one.
All right. Once again, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Stavros Anthony, I will make a motion to approve the tax abatements for CADC Reno 265.
Do I have a second?
Weldon Haven, second.
All right, we have a motion for approval. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any against, nay? Did you vote, Cisco?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thanks.
Governor, I apologize. I have to go to the legislature.
Mel, for the record, Secretary of State Cisco Aguilar has to remove himself, or he's removing himself, or he's dismissing himself. I don't know what the word is.
He's leaving.
He's leaving.
Thank you, Governor. We still have a quorum.
All right, good. Okay, we will move on to agenda item 7B for possible action, Finley Machine and Tool LLC, doing business as Create, sales tax abatement, modified business tax abatement, personal property tax abatement. And our presenter shall be Mitch Keenan.
Governor, how are you?
Harry, did you want?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Governor Lombardo, Lieutenant Governor Anthony, and Secretary of State Aguilar, as well, Executive Director Burns, and board members. It's so nice to see you at the beginning of the year. For the record, I'm Mitch Keenan, Senior Vice President of Business Development at the Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance. I'd like to introduce you today, Finley Machine Tools, doing business as Create. So Create will be the company as referred moving forward. Present with me today is Dave Feldman, Chief Business Officer, who currently is serving within the C-suite now. Create is requesting sales and use tax abatement, the personal property tax abatement within the standard abatement package. Create will have a capital equipment investment of $11.5 million. They will create 31 new jobs within the first 24 months and reach up to 60 jobs within the first 5 years of operation at an average hourly wage of $32.62. And I want to take a quick note on that hourly wage. If you look at your employment schedule, the hourly rate of all of the positions listed eclipse the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics across Clark County for each one of their skill sets. And I also want to note, I must commend the city of North Las Vegas and its economic development team, specifically Perry Erson with us at the table today. They've done a tremendous job of collaborating with LVGA, GOED, and other partners within the market to bring Create into the North Las Vegas business community, and we're very thankful for North Las Vegas's partnership. Now, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Create as an organization. Create is a world-class plastic products design and engineering manufacturing company established in 2018. They produce a variety of products for the retail market, such as storage totes, shelvings, trash cans, chairs, and other garden beds, as well as other products that we use at our home every day. Their largest customer that they currently serve right now is Home Depot. As well, their manufacturing process is what's considered manufacturing 4.0, where they adopt 3D printing, IoT, automation, and robotics within their manufacturing process. Create currently has multiple locations in Ohio and Texas. The company focuses on local community and looks to provide good paying jobs and treat their employees well, which is a cornerstone of their company culture. As good corporate citizens, Create works to keep environmental impact as low as possible. More than 75% of their purchased raw material and resin is recycled post-industrial and consumer waste. And I'm pleased to hand it over now to Dave Feldman to explain further about Create and their project in North Las Vegas.
Thank you very much, Mitch. Thank you, Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Director Burns, and the board. Nice to meet you all. My name is Dave Feldman. As he said, I'm Chief Business Officer for Finley Machine and Tool, and our trade name is known as Create. That's what we serve our customers with. And we are a company that was started after we had divested of another company that was plastic injection molding. And we have focused more on being able to design out and refresh tire products, if you will, such as storage totes. The biggest thing that we make for Home Depot right now, which will be a big part of this facility, are the black and yellow totes that everybody has in the garage. We appreciate it. Nobody throws any away. Nobody throws anything away, so it seems like it's a never-ending opportunity. The facilities and the things that we do, we're looking at North Las Vegas. We've looked at Arizona. We're looking at Utah. We needed a place to serve them. Pardon me?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, okay, so.
I was having a sidebar conversation. Go ahead.
Okay, I apologize. So we needed the West Coast to serve the West Coast distribution centers for our customers. Transportation, as you can imagine, is a big piece when you're putting these things that are big volume that are basically air that you're moving around. Our culture is such, first of all, we're a privately held company really owned by one individual. And the focus that we have has always been to treat our employees right and make sure that they're taken care of in the marketplace. I know there were some questions around the pay rates and everything, but if you look at each of our job classifications and how they line up with the Bureau of Labor Statistics, we're at least 25% above what the rates are, sometimes 50%. What ends up happening is our average it's the average of averages, because you're taking one of each. And so we look like we're 3261 or whatever the right number is. When in reality, if you look at our jobs up against each of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, we just have less skilled positions, if you will. A lot of the jobs that we have, we're kind of bifurcated. We do state-of-the-art stuff. We have robotics on each of the presses. We will have robotics as we move forward with additional packing cells and things along that. We also have a number of people that literally stand at a press and take parts off of them. Okay. And for those people, these jobs, we have a number of people that are getting paid a lot more than they'd ever get. We try to do a whole package approach with the payment and the benefits. For a single employee, we pay about 90% of the healthcare costs. We have a 401k plan that vests immediately, and it's a 4% match. So we try to encourage everybody doing that, and we promote from within. We have a history in Ohio. That's where we started. We work closely with the governments. We're a big participant in the Jobs Ohio program, the economic development there. We bought a facility down in Texas that was already operating. In each of the cases where we went to the government and said, hey, this is what we're going to do. We did Jobs Ohio a couple of years ago and said we were going to do a $7 million expansion of equipment. We put $35 million in. We said we we're going to add 30 jobs. We added 150. In Texas last year, we said we were going to put in $10 million. We put $35 million in. We're not big on over-promising. That's what it comes down to. So I understand what the Secretary of State may have with a question on what we have going on here. I just wanted to address it from the forefront. Our expectation, we're looking at a building in North Las Vegas that's 235,000 square feet. To give you an idea, the building that we have where our main facility is in Findlay, Ohio, is only 120,000 square foot building. We have 39 presses in it and employ more than 300 people. Here, we're just looking at starting with 10 presses, quickly going to 14, then eventually to 24, but have the expandable capability to do well over a number of that. And you would end up with the same kind of employment situations. I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend we're going to get that big or that fast, but we have opportunities to expand, and we need a place quickly in the West Coast because we've made a commitment to our biggest customer, Home Depot, that we would serve them out of here. I know sustainability is a big thing. Sustainability is big for us as well. The presses that we buy require about a third less electricity than traditional servo hydraulic injection molding presses. We use, as Mitch mentioned, the black and yellow totes, the black bottoms is 100% recycled materials, whether post-consumer, post-industrial waste. So we, with Home Depot, because of that, we are the largest producer or user of recycled materials that provide to them. So we try to come into the areas and we try to make sure we're good corporate citizens. We try to reach out to the development. I sat on Ohio's Finley's Economic Development Board for 3 years. We try to participate in it. We think it's a good thing. And for companies like ours, we need abatements in order to make the money work for the investment that we do, because we try to invest fast. We also like to, like I said, work with any schools or things like that as well, to the workforce, to bring them up the curve. What we find is that we end up training up a lot of people. We try to find people with good basic skills, because there's not a lot of places that teach plastic injection molding kind of thing as a per se. That in a nutshell, hopefully let you know where we're coming from, and we appreciate the opportunity and hopefully the support.
All right, do we have any questions from any board members?
Governor, this is
Deborah
Sasha.
Jacob.
Go ahead.
Deborah Jacob, for the record. Are you a wholly owned subsidiary of Nicholas?
No, Nicholas is the individual's name, who owns the company. His name is Nicholas Reinhardt.
Yes.
Finley Machine and Tool is a LLC that was set up as a partnership with FMT Holdings owning 1% and Nicholas Reinhardt's Revocable Trust owning 99%. And Mr. Reinhardt is the 100% shareholder of the holding company. Okay. So when you say 100%, there is no Nicholas. There's a company called Nicholas Asset Management that we use to manage a variety of it. We are involved. It's a family office. We have storage boxes that we build and we sell. We have a number of properties. He owns some farmland. We have offices and buildings down in Sarasota. We have a number of buildings up in Findlay, Ohio. So it's kind of a family office. FMT Create is the largest piece of that.
Thank you.
Austin, did you have a question?
I had more of a comment. I just want to say I appreciate the additional information, and with the 5-year projection of 60 jobs, I feel much more comfortable.
Yeah,
So
we were stepping through it.
I appreciate that. And it took away my concerns.
If you have to send your jobs to Ohio thing, they're very happy. Let's put it that way.
And you plan to hire local?
Oh, that I forgot to mention that. No, we pretty much hire everybody locally. We may have an individual come in to help train up the people, because we have to have the process people. Okay, we have them in there, but we don't bring people in or whatever. You know, there may be somebody that has a special skill set that'll move here or whatever. But if it's local and available, we'll hire you.
Governor, this is Yolanda King for the record.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Curious, I believe I saw you provide attendance bonus.
Yeah, so what we do, now, the owner is very creative and very intuitive, and the biggest issue that anybody has is somebody showing up to work. All right, we invest in very expensive equipment, and we make no money unless they're running. So if we don't have a person there, we're making nothing. Okay, so when you start figuring that out, you say, what do you really need to do? You need to pay people right. You got to get them to show up, and you got to treat them well. So what we did back in probably 2021, at that time in the Findlay area, the rates for these jobs were like $15. We took it up to 20, okay, right out of the box, because we said we want the people to come and start hiring. What we also did was, there's always a mentality around attendance and disciplinary action and things along those lines. And so what we did, instead of saying, like most shops will say, hey, you don't show up for 6 days or whatever, you get 6 points, and on the 7th you're fired. What we said is, you got 6 freebie days. You can call in, don't come in, whatever. 6 of them, they're yours. You don't use them, we'll pay you double at the end of the year for all 6. You use 4, we'll pay you for 2. Because it costs us so much more that why would you want to make it a negative instead of a positive on what you're doing, right? And so that's what we have with the attendance bonus and those type of things. The other thing is, since we work 24/7, You work 48 hours one week, 36 hours or 32 hours the other week. So you automatically get 8 hours of overtime, if you will, even though you're only working 3 hours a week per year. Okay. And the beauty of it is with those schedules, obviously, there's a lot of people that like it because you literally work half the days of the year. Half the days of the year off, which is pretty attractive to a lot of people. So.
Hey, Governor, I have another question, and this is probably for staff. On the section 5B, the employment schedule, the calculation of the average hourly wage, how is that done? Is it, you take the number of positions within that classification, the hourly rate? Okay, it's just not a straight average.
Yeah,
It's weighted. Okay.
It's a weighted, oh, sorry, Melody Sheldon for the record, it is a weighted average hourly wage. And we actually build a formula into our application as well, and then we check to make sure the formula wasn't played with. And then it takes into account the percentage out of 100 of the employees and their wages and gives it an actual weighting as opposed to a straight average.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right, any further questions before I entertain a motion? Chris?
Sorry. Percentage on record. Just a question on your molding, your presses that you have to acquire. Are any of those machines or the components in those machines going to be impacted by the tariffs or delay your construction schedule?
Yeah, hopefully not. So the machines are coming, will be from Japan and Korea. Okay, so the thing that would be impacted is we buy some of the tools from Canada. So we have $6 million worth of tools we're supposed to ship this next couple of weeks. So I went to bed thinking I owed another $1.5 million last week, and I got reprieved, and we're just trying to get them in before that changes.
Cool, thank you.
Governor and the board, for the record, this is Perry Ursum, City of North Las Vegas, Economic Development. Just want to say, in the 16 and a half years of doing economic development here at the regional, state, and local levels, this is a marquee manufacturing company for our city. Respective of the manufacturing 4.0 that they're incorporating in their business, this is going to be an opportunity for us to engage with our school systems, both secondary and higher education, to learn what manufacturing 4.0 is. It's also going to create an opportunity for us to attract other like-minded companies that are in this space. So again, I just want to thank everyone for having the opportunity. Mitch, thank you for taking this application forward, and we look forward to your support.
Any other questions or comments? All right, before we go, I call for a vote. I have to publicly recuse myself from the vote. I have a family member involved in the leasing of the facility. So I'm assuming, Mel, we have enough people for a vote, a quorum for a vote?
We do, Governor. We are left with 7 people, and we're looking for a quorum majority from that 7 for this to be, for this to pass.
Okay, so with that said, I will entertain a motion for the approval of Finley Machine and Tool LLC doing business as Create.
This is Stavros Anthony. I'll make a motion to approve the tax abatements for Finley Machine and Tool.
We have a second.
This is Yolanda King. I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion on the table. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any against, nay? Okay, motion passes. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Governor.
Thank you.
Hey, Dave, just Mr. Philby, before you walk off, at the end of your comments, you said that's it in a nutshell. And that's not my perception of a nutshell.
Sorry. Apologize about that.
All right. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
And Perry, thank you for your comments.
Thank you, Governor.
All right, we will move to agenda item number 8, abatement application for director approval. This is informational only and.
Okay. I think Elaine will come up afterwards, so I thought I'd leave those for her. Thank you.
Are you guys not hearing me?
No,
Can you hear me there? I'm trying to read the agenda. You're having a side conversation there.
Yes.
Okay, we'll move to agenda item number 8, abatement application for director approval, 8A, Orbinox American Inc. Director Burns.
Yes, so today we have Orbinox American Inc. They're being represented by Hayden Poyer of NNBA. Please.
Good afternoon, Governor, Lieutenant Governor, and board members. For the record, my name is Hayden Poyer, and I serve as the Business Development Coordinator for Northern Nevada Development Authority. Thank you for considering the abatement application for Orbinox America. Orbinox America is a global leader in knife gate valve manufacturing. This facility will bring 6 new jobs to Minden, Nevada, with an average wage of $32.52 and a capital investment of nearly $2 million. Orbinox America is a part of AVK's efforts to bring their supply chain to Nevada. AVK has now onshored companies from Canada, China, and Denmark to Nevada. This Nevada facility will focus on manufacturing and distribution of water valves for freshwater, wastewater, and industrial applications. The company is seeking a sales and use tax abatement, modified business tax abatement, and personal property tax abatement. NNDA fully supports this tax application and respectfully requests the board's approval, and we would like to thank Alex and Melanie for help on this application. Joining me today is Marco Giambiano, who will provide more details about the company and answer any questions the board may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor Lombardo, Lieutenant Governor, Secretary of the State, and to the Board of the Governor's Office Economic Development. My name is Marco Giambagno, and I'm CEO of Orbinox for the North American business. Orbinox was founded in Tolosa, Spain in 1964. In the early 2000s, expansion began in Canada and in the USA, with international headquarters in San Sebastian, Spain, or North American headquarters in Laval, Quebec, Canada. We also have a warehouse located in Amory, Mississippi. Thereafter, in 2011, Orbinox became a member of the AVK Group. We have a strong international presence, providing products such as knife gate valves, slide gates, dampers across various industries, including pulp and paper, water treatment, mining, power, petrochemical, food and beverage, agriculture, and dams and reservoirs. Today, I'm excited to share our plans for further expansion into the U.S. market. Our new facility in Minden, Nevada, is part of a larger project involving the construction of 2 other facilities under our parent company, AVK Holding. The brand new warehouse in factory in Minden, Nevada, will be 40,000 square foot and dedicated to the assembly, testing, distribution, in collaboration with local manufacturing suppliers. It's a pivotal part of our strategic plan to enhance our operations on the West Coast, as we are currently on the East Coast right now. So this is a pivotal step for us in Nevada. Initially, an investment of $2 million of capital equipment. In the first phase, we'll be employing a minimum of 6 people. Plans to create additional 10 to 12 jobs in the coming 2 years as we shift manufacturing from Canada over to Nevada. We have chosen Nevada for the expansion because the business climate here is friendly, supportive. Obviously, our partner, our AVK Group is here. The state provides supportive ecosystem for entrepreneurs, startups, corporations, fostering innovation and growth. Nevada's strategic location of the West Coast near national and international ports also enhances our footprint on the West Coast. We are confident that the new facility will help us achieve our business goals by enhancing our operation efficiency and capacity on the West Coast, allowing us to better service our customers on the West Coast. As I said just momentarily, most of our products are shifted from Amory down to the West Coast, so it's a pivotal move for us. We hope that it contributes positively to the local economy by creating new jobs, working with local manufacturers and suppliers, and we encourage collaboration with local suppliers, obviously stimulating the economic activity and investing in the community and supporting local development initiatives. We are committed to being a valuable part of the Minden community. We look forward to a successful partnership with the state of Nevada. Thank you for your time and dedication.
Partner, want to talk? So these are the same valves you use in the fire hydrant?
No.
They are a sister company that is owned partially by our parent company in Denmark and partially by their parent company in Spain. And because of our experiences that we've had as American AVK, they've been encouraged to move here too. So we are building brand new facility for them that'll be wholly owned by a holding company, and they will be leasing that facility from the AVK holding properties.
So is this additional building from when I did the tour?
Yes. Across the street from when you did the tour, that open field is where it's going to be going.
Oh, okay. I thought that was for you.
It is. We're building 3 new factories.
Oh, okay.
This is just one of the 3.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that partnership.
Thank you.
Any other items to provide? Hayden, anything? Okay. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
This is, your package has already been approved by Director Burns. It doesn't require a board vote. So welcome to the neighborhood and hopefully you prosper.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for your time.
All right, we'll move to agenda item number 9 now, workforce innovations for a new Nevada WINN update from Elaine Silverstone, Director. Elaine?
There we go.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Good afternoon, Director of Workforce Development at GOED, Elaine Silverstone, Director of Workforce Development at GOED for the record, Governor Lombardo, Lieutenant Governor Anthony, I believe Secretary of State had stepped out, and esteemed members of the board. As it is just the 4th day of the legislative session, I thank you all for your time today amid the busy season. Can you hear us well there?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you for that. We've stayed busy here at GOED too, leading the workforce innovations for a new Nevada program. And I'm happy to update you today of some of our successes that WINN has supported towards our economic growth and diversification mission at GOED. On recent visits with the GOED board, we successfully presented WINN applications to you that met the statutory requirements that define program award and met the parameters of our state's plan to focus on key target sectors, including manufacturing, natural resources, transportation and logistics, information technologies, and an expanded view of hospitality we call creative industries, to include outdoor recreation, sports, and film. We also include healthcare and water sustainability, given the community development addendum in our state strategy. Our dialogue from previous GOED board meetings has presented a wonderful opportunity for us to consider best practices in the WINN application process that remains aligned with statute and to the state's leadership vision for economic diversification in target sectors, while focused on bringing strong applications that support economic mobility to present to this board, excuse me, for consideration. We've heard your concerns, most specifically regarding career pathways that yield highway jobs for Nevadans. And today we present immediate impact modifications we've already made to the WINN application to prepare for exactly that. We are optimistic the successes of this current biennium term will yield a positive return from the legislative session, that WINN will be recognized with an equal appropriation of $10 million for the next 2-year cycle. Excuse me. These enhancements to our process are designed to solicit data-driven applications that will demonstrate high-wage, in-demand career pathways, highlighting economic mobility in our target sectors. There are 17 active awards for this biennium cycle that conclude on June 30th, 2025. All awards are with Scheetz Community College partners, supporting employers in their region with workforce development training that brings a skilled talent pipeline into high-wage, in-demand career pathways in our state. Truckee Meadows Community College has 8 WINN-funded programs. 4 programs are in high gear at College of Southern Nevada and Great Basin College each, and Western Nevada College is doing a terrific job with 1 WINN-funded award. 11 of these programs support the growth of advanced manufacturing career pathways. 3 programs are anchored in the transportation and logistics sector.
2 are aligned with the IT sector, and 1 program helps to raise community development by supporting career pathways in the healthcare sector. Before we take a closer look at our recommendations, I'd like to welcome my partner from NSHE, Dr. Natalie Brown, Assistant Vice Chancellor of Workforce Development, who works very closely with our community college partners to ensure WINN success.
Thank you, Elaine, and good afternoon, Governor Lombardo, Lieutenant Governor, and the senior members of the GOED board. For the record, Natalie Brown, Assistant Vice Chancellor for Workforce Development and Community Colleges with Nevada System of Higher Education. So I'd like to start by expressing my profound gratitude for the unwavering support and collaboration between NSHE and GOED. The WINN Fund has been instrumental in the creation, customization, and expansion of programs in critical need areas that align with GOED's target industries. Since its inception nearly a decade ago, your support for these projects over the years has enabled NSHE community colleges to collaborate directly with business and industry to develop programs that not only meet specific needs identified in each approved application, but has also helped create ongoing training programs, which continue to address the broader workforce demands in Nevada in these high demand sectors. And at this point, Elaine will review areas of enhancement we've made in the WINN application process based on feedback received from the board.
Thank you. Elaine Silverstone for the record. We prepared materials today in tab 9 of your binders to highlight 3 sections of the statute that defines WINN, for which we can immediately enhance our process for presenting strong applications to you. You'll notice on the first page, we organized a table with 3 specific sections of the WINN statute that is otherwise represented in its entirety in NRS 231.141 through 152, as you'll find on pages 9 through 14, also in the binder. In the first case, section 231.1467.2 dictates what must be included in a WINN submission, and subsection B further requires the name of each business for which the applicant will provide the proposed program of workforce recruitment, assessment, and training. As a means to organize data-driven outcomes, we've reorganized the project information section of the WINN application and tightly aligned the primary economic sectors to those sectors in our state plan, including iconography from the report itself, which you would see in subsequent pages. This measure will allow us to ensure that WINN submissions are clearly mapped to our economic growth and diversification goals, with a secondary win of presenting a cohesive message across our agencies working in pursuit of the state plan. A second area where we've made an immediate enhancement to the WINN process for applications is in NRS section 231.1467.2.e. This item is so important as it delves into evidence of workforce shortages within the target industry to be served by the proposed program of workforce recruitment, assessment, and training. I submit this section is so significant to the work of our business development team does in attracting new businesses and supporting the expansion of existing businesses in our state. As WINN is one tool in the toolkit to attract new businesses, we know that strong applications for state funds are best used to close gaps in workforce demand. Noting this, we've created a section in the application that will require data collection from an industry standard tool provided by the Department of Labor, that is the Occupational Information Network, also known as ONET, and more on that now from Natalie, please.
Natalie Brown for the record. So you have seen information presented from ONET in a few proposals this past year, but now requiring this information on requests for new proposals moving forward will not only create a more standardized application for the board to review, but also situate the programs within context of demand within the United States, state of Nevada, and also regional specific demands. To further supplement the wage information being provided by individual partner businesses. This is important as these programs are designed to address immediate training needs for identified partners in programs geared towards rapid skill development, But with these programs, we'll also continue post-WIN fund award to meet ongoing training needs. A third area where we've made immediate enhancements to the process for application is in NRS section 321.1467.2.f regarding evidence that there's an insufficient number of existing programs to develop the workforce needed for industry to be served by the proposed program of workforce recruitment, assessment, and training. Whew, that's a long section. More direct language and instruction to applicants has already been added into the statement of needs section of the application to ensure applicants connect the industry needs through the ONET data that we are requiring earlier on in the application with the GOED state plan and target sectors. The addition of this information will require applicants to provide additional details beyond simply the number of training programs that are available within the state and provide that in the context of their regional demands and statewide training needs. Additionally, I cannot say enough how grateful I am for the support from GOED and the collaboration between our agency workforce development functions. In that regard, we have also developed additional steps in the pre-application process to ensure that all applicants will be working seamlessly with both myself and Elaine throughout that pre-application to support a strong program moving forward to be seen by the board. I appreciate the feedback received from this board and welcome opportunities to improve the process to ensure you all are provided with meaningful data and information on all proposals which come forward for your review and vote. I am excited to see how these modifications process for all involved. And thank you for your time, and we welcome feedback and questions.
Do we have any questions?
Governor, it's Ray Speck. If I may ask a couple of questions, please.
Go ahead, Ray.
Thank you. Ray Speck for the record. This is great. Thank you for enhancing the application. Looking forward to applications coming to us in the future, a little clearer and easier to understand, and the services you provide to our residents to give them a better future is outstanding. A couple of questions I had is, you have a limited amount of funds that are assigned to you, right? If you look at it historically, have you ever used up all those funds during the required period?
Elaine Silverstone for the record. So,
This year?
yeah. Okay. So as you know, it's the WINN fund is use it or lose it money. And I do have a historical record for which I've obtained from fiscal partners that predates my time here, having joined in September 2023. I understand in previous legislative cycles, there has been money reverted. In my role, as I see myself as a project manager, working currently with each of the institutions to help keep them on track. And I can assure you that in this cycle right now, we are very focused on spend down in accordance with the budget narratives that had been presented to you in original applications. And we're asking all of our partners at this time to be submitting any amendments necessary now to make sure that they will be on track. It's our intention to not revert any money back this cycle.
Well, I hope you do spend every dime, because it'll help every resident in this state get the training they need. But I guess that goes back to my original question when I asked, we have some applications that come in that are very close to equal the minimum wage. And I'm always concerned, if you're in the beginning of the cycle, the 2-year cycle, right? And we're approving applications that are close to the minimum wage. You get to the end of year 2, you have an application where it's significantly above, but gee, my funds are all used up. That's still my concern. Is there any thought of minimum wage requirements going into this, or setting some standards to make sure the money is used most efficiently?
Natalie Brown for the record. Thank you for that question. And we do have a minimum wage requirement for the applications to proceed, $17 an hour, I believe, but Elaine can clarify that. One of the things that we like to do, knowing that there is a limited amount of funding available, is really try and tie it as closely as possible to the statewide needs in the GOED state plan. Ideally, we would bring that forward as close to the start of the biennium as possible to provide a maximum amount of time for our institutions and our business industry partners to really get the most out of these training programs. Sometimes these programs come forward, a lot at a time. Last biennium, we had quite a bit allocated right at the beginning. It did provide a full 2-year period for our institutions to implement new programs. Now, as we get closer to the end of the biennium, it does become a bit of a crunch time to try and maximize the output for the training as well. So it is a bit of a balancing act that we are trying to ensure that we're bringing forward proposals that are meeting that threshold requirement while also providing enough time to ramp up for the rapid skill development.
And just for clarification, that's statutory. How is that set? How is that established?
So, may I?
Yes.
Elaine Silverstone for the record. So if you were to refer to page 12 in your binders, you would find that what continues is NRS 231.147, and you would come to the first item, number 2, very near the top of the page, which presents the statute that says, while this is regarding those employed in the positions they gain for this training, while employed in that position will not be paid less than 80% of the lesser of the average industrial hourly wage in the state or in the county. And then, as I understand it, this board had an opportunity to vote or took an opportunity to vote in December of 2021 and set that the minimum wage should be $17 an hour or more, which may or may not fall beautifully with this 80% threshold. But I would submit that if you think it's useful to vote on what the minimum hourly wage should be as we've updated and enhanced our process for 2025, we certainly welcome your varied and expert points of view on this body to help make our work stronger as well. Thank you. Does that address your question?
As a governor, if I just may make one more point, please.
Yes, sir.
I don't think we should just pull out a number and put it on the table and vote on it. Okay, that's not thoroughly thought through. That's not fair to your expertise, knowing this program very well and the people you're dealing with. I don't know where to go with this. I don't know if it would go to GOED. I don't know who it would go with, but somebody should do a thorough analysis with a recommendation that would then be brought to the GOED board for review. So we do this appropriately for our residents and most efficient use of the funds.
May I ask a question? So Elaine Silverstone, for the record, would you imagine that that analysis would be across sectors specifically and then also regions? In other words, a model would be created for the region and for the sector that would then return some headlines of data analysis?
I would suggest I'd give you a blank page and those who have the best expertise and recommendation.
Dr. Sanchez, were you going to provide some clarification?
Maybe not clarification, maybe muddle things further. Chris Sanchez, for the record. It seems to me, kind of building on what Mr. Speck was saying, is that we have 7 priorities listed here and a finite amount of funds. And spreading a finite amount of funds across 7 priorities doesn't get us that much. What I would recommend is that we look at which one of these 7 have the highest wage rates or the greatest need. So, for instance, our healthcare shortages are pretty great, and it's key modalities. Ranking these in some sort of framework where it's based on the need and perhaps the average hourly wage rate is not. All these sectors are created; they're not equal. They're very different. And since we have a finite amount of funds, deploying that strategically into the system to provide the training and fill those gaps is something that I'm thinking about. So. I don't know if that's helpful, but.
Yes, Doctor.
Director Burns.
Dr. Sanchez, a question would be, without trying to state you for an answer, would you be it for the training of the job at hand or the potential that the job has as they move through their career? Me personally, I recognize in your conversation around need, but also recognizing that an entry-level job may pay $1 less than somebody else, but the potential for that job down the road is greater for that individual.
Chris Sanchez, for the record. Yeah, I mean, right, though that makes sense, but it also needs to correlate with where we see the most growth potential in the state. And so, you know, hospitality and tourism, I don't know that we need to put a lot of funding in hospitality and tourism, but we may need to put more in transportation and logistics. And we may need to put more in advanced general manufacturing. And then the wage potential in those two is going to be much greater than the wage potential in hospitality. So
Yeah, and for the record, Governor Lamar, but there's also additional consideration on CapEx. You know, the equipment associated with the purchase to develop the programs and continue to support the programs. So I think that measurement should be on Dr. Brown's bailiwick and Elaine Silverstone's bailiwick and be able to adjust the funding commensurate to the current need and future needs and the maintenance needs associated with those 7 factors. Does that make sense to you, Dr. Brown?
Yes, Natalie Brown for the record. That does make some great sense. And I think also how we have streamlined this application process will lend itself to some of these changes that will provide that exact information you're looking for.
But I don't want to remove any thoughts that Raymond gave in consideration of that in the future. So I would ask Director Burns to meet with his team and give it some more roundtabling, spitballing, whatever you want to call it, and come back to the board with possible recommendations or additional support of your current model. So would that be satisfactory, Mr. Speck?
Governor, yeah, sorry, Speck, I totally support everything you said. Let's take this offline. Let's do a thorough analysis, have the right people involved to make the recommendation that best benefits the state, bring it back to GOED. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, and I don't want, just because of the nature of the conversation, the need to change the model if you can justify the model. So I guess that would be the first and foremost direction. So. All right. Any other comments to be made?
For the record, Chris Sewell, if the WINN fund ever gets close to being maxed out, this is where Dieter can step in and assist. We can step in and assist with a lot of these programs. And that's something I know Director Burns and I have spoke about.
Yes.
So.
Okay. Did you hear that, Dr. Brown?
I did, and I have taken very detailed notes of that.
Yeah, so Director Sewell, obviously he's the director of Dieter, and they have workforce development programs endemic to their organization. And when it becomes not valid because of lack of funds, they can supplement the effort. So,
yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Any other comments? Okay, with that, is that the finish of the presentation? You know what?
Yes.
I did have one last question. It was an audio problem and the ability to hear what was being said on some spots, but you mentioned specific NRSs. Did you arbitrarily change some NRSs without legislative approval? I didn't hear that.
Absolutely not, sir. Elaine
Okay.
Silverstone for the record.
Wait, that's an option?
Well said.
I wish it was an option.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure we didn't do anything outside of our authority, so. All right, we'll move on to agenda item number 10. Do we have any board member comments outside of what was presented today?
Governor, this is Sasha Stevenson. I just wanted to add on to Ray's point earlier. I think, at least in the time I've been on the board, I haven't experienced this. So I think maybe revisiting the actual, all of the authority and responsibility of the board so that all the members are aware, and doing this in conjunction with Director Burns to figure out how best we can accomplish each of these responsibilities. And certainly don't have to do this in a formal setting, but I think that might be something that would be beneficial to the members. Again, I've been on the board for, I want to say, at least 3 years, and I haven't done most of the things that are here. So I just wanted to put that out there for thought.
Did you understand that?
Yep.
Okay. Any other comments from board members?
Governor Raceback, and I promise it's the last time I'll raise.
No, you're fine. That's your role.
I was thinking about it as we went along. We talked about doing the peer analysis, which I think is outstanding. We need to know our competition. We need to know how well we're doing against the competition. We need to know how we could be better. Where I was struggling is that a public document or is that something internal for GOED to develop strategic goals and to figure out where they can do enhancements? To cut to the chase, my concern is if we make some of that public and if we do the peer analysis objectively, we're not going to hit everyone. And the last thing I want to do is be a marketing agency for other states, pointing out to potential customers where other states are doing better than us on certain criteria. So my personal thought is I toss it out, and I appreciate them looking to do the peer analysis, is maybe we should have a discussion. Is that something internally for strategic goals to set? Thank you, Governor.
You want me to comment on that, Director Burns?
Yes. So, Tom Burns for the record, Director Speck, you're correct. We actually do this, we have this conversation internally quite often. We used to have a document prepared at this point in time to share with you, but we do know what I call them our unfair advantages, and then also areas where other of our competitors have unfair advantages. So we pay attention to that quite a bit. One of the things I think in putting together just a data-driven spreadsheet is they those places that we would look to call our competitors keep score differently than we do. So for instance, in the state of Arizona, they don't have the requirement for the state average wage, which I think is a wise thing for Nevada to do because of the intentional nature of the jobs that we're trying to attract and support through public support. So some of that comparison, I think, becomes a little problematic because just candidly, there's some businesses that Arizona, I'll pick on them, but Arizona is willing to support with public money that I'm not interested in participating in. So, but we look to know what our peers are doing and what the game is that we're playing.
I see you contemplating.
I know. I don't know if that was helpful or not.
Who's contemplating?
You are.
Oh. Just want to make sure. My wife never said that to me. That's a first. I appreciate that. No, I just want to be clear that this is an internal document. It's not meant to be part of the GOED board package, to be right to the point.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. If there are no further board member comments, agenda item 11 is Governor Lombardo's comments. One thing I would, I guess it's more of an awareness thing. I believe it's, Sasha, you could probably help me with this, but I believe this is the last year of the statutory requirement to increase minimum wage on the previous legislation. So
Yes.
there would be, and I'm not aware, or if there's a bill coming forward in this session, so that would have an effect on what Dr. Brown and Elaine Silverstone's contemplating. So
This is Sasha for the record. Sasha Stevenson for the record. My understanding is there is a forthcoming bill on minimum wage. I have not seen it, but certainly we'll watch for that.
okay. Other than that, the legislature is kicked off. The circus is in town, and we are grinding through it. So everybody have a great weekend.
You too.
Thanks, you too.
All right. With that being said, we have not adjourned yet. We'll move on to agenda item number 12. Second opportunity for public comment. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Do we have any public comment there in Las Vegas?
We do not, Governor.
Okay. Do we have any public comment here in Carson? Chris, you don't want to say anything? You don't want to say anything about Tesla or anything?
I'm good right now.
All right. All right, we close the second opportunity for public comment and move for possible action on item 13 for adjournment. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. So move. I'll second that motion. Oh, we have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. I assume there's no nays, but I'll ask. I'll ask, or the DAG will give me a hard time. Do we have any nays? Hearing none, motion passes. Take care, everybody. Oh.
I was on.